Hidden away in England's east, Peterborough is the sort of destination that doesn't always manage to make it to those glossy front covers of travel magazines. But maybe that's precisely why it's so enchanting. It's a place where history is not put in glitzy showcases, but embedded in the roads, in the architecture, even in the atmosphere. Deep roots in ancient history and a sturdy heartbeat in modernity, Peterborough is a destination that presents tourists with something both introspective and rejuvenating. You can't discuss Peterborough without beginning with its past, because in this place, history is all around. The earliest evidence of human occupation in the area is more than 3,500 years old, and with the River Nen nearby, the area became a focus of activity for prehistoric humans, then the Romans, then Anglo-Saxons, then ultimately by the Normans. One of Britain's most remarkable archaeological attractions, FlagFen Archaeology Park, is literally on Peterborough's doorstep. It was unearthed in the 1980s by Francis Pryor, an archaeologist. What's revealed is an amazingly intact wooden causeway from 3,000 years ago, a ceremonial walkway constructed over ancient wetlands. Walking through the paths and gazing in at reconstructed Bronze Age roundhouses, you can almost picture the rituals and everyday lives of those far earlier days before even our modern world even started. There's even a dig tent for youngsters, so very family-oriented but still producing that authentic Indiana Jones experience for grown-ups. One of the crown jewels of the city is undoubtedly Peterborough Cathedral, also officially known as the Cathedral Church of St. Peter, St. Paul, and St. Andrew. Whether you are religious or not, or are someone who just appreciates architecture, you will be drawn to this structure. Finished in about 1238, the cathedral is among the most beautiful surviving examples of Norman architecture in Britain. Its 3 huge arches are imposing, but also mesmerizing, more akin to the front of an imaginary kingdom than to that of a cathedral in a city. Inside, the nave stretches out before you in medieval style, with woodwork ceiling panel paintings that have withstood centuries of use. And it is not just lovely, it is also imbued with royal history. Both Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII's first wife, is buried here, her grave still visited with flowers, pomegranates, her royal emblem, and Spanish pilgrims' offerings. Mary, Queen of Scots, was also buried here, before her body was relocated to Westminster Abbey by her son, James I. Take a guided tour if possible. The histories are full of rich tales, and guides are zealous locals who make the histories come to life with tragedy, humor, and detail. After immersing oneself in the depths of history, decompression is best done by going to Meadows Country Park, which is included in the larger Nen Park. Only a few miles from central Peterborough, this vast area of green is one of the largest and most popular parks in the area. There's something for all: calm lakes to paddleboard or kayak along, open fields to have lazy picnics, tidy paths to cycle or walk along, and ample opportunities to spot local wildlife. You will see swans, herons, and possibly even deer if you are fortunate. There are cafes, children's playgrounds, and even a quaint little miniature railway that operates at the weekend. If you are hankering for an early morning stroll or an afternoon sunsetting moment, this is where to come. Another unexpectedly evocative experience is the Nen Valley Railway, a restored heritage railway that travels through miles of countryside to the west of the city. It's not merely a novelty railway ride, it's an all-out nostalgic journey through the years, particularly if you take one of the vintage steam engines. Trains themselves are immaculately kept, with even some in featured appearances in films such as James Bond's Octopussy. The scenery along the route is lovely, with stations at quaint villages which remain stuck in time since the 1950s. There is also a railway museum at Wansford Station which children and railway enthusiasts will have a ball with. There is some newer redevelopment in Peterborough's city centre, but there are still quaint patches of old-fashioned charm. There is Cathedral Square in the very centre of the city, which is flanked with restaurants, shops, and the iconic Guildhall, with its ancient stone construction standing tall upon pillars, oft crowded with jugglers or food stalls. Peterborough City Market, although smaller in comparison to others, is an oasis of local products, second-hand bargains, and international food. On a nice day, buying a fresh pastry and observing shoppers in their busy element is an authentic local treat. You might just happen to catch Long Causeway or Bridge Street in the midst of an event or festival. They regularly have pop-up food stalls, live music performances, or themed events. Peterborough's culinary scene is decidedly eclectic. For something old-fashioned, the Cuckoo in nearby Walton is a lovely old inn with roaring fireplaces and good old-fashioned British food, nearer central Peterborough. The brewery Tap features an interesting marriage of in-house brewed real ale and tasty Thai cuisine, Thai curry with English beer. You'd be surprised how well they work together. See a performance at the Key Theatre, which shows everything from Shakespeare to stand-up. If you prefer to catch films, then Showcase Cinema Deluxe is where you'll find a state-of-the-art, comfortable setting in which to watch the newest blockbusters. Peterborough doesn't try too hard. It doesn't bluster with giant Ferris wheels or hip skylines. Rather, it attracts you with layers of authenticity, deep history, and community that reveals itself more with every stay. It's a place where past and present intersect, where you can have coffee beside a 900-year-old cathedral, paddleboard down a prehistoric river, and take a steam railway through medieval villages, all in one day. Whether you are just driving by or organizing an overnight getaway, Peterborough is the sort of destination that makes an impression, not one of spectacle but of authenticity.